Welcome back, focused learners. Today's explainer is all about unlocking your professional pathway. We're going to master the absolute ultimate tools of the trade, your resume and your cover letter. Whether you're looking for, a casual job at the local supermarket, applying for some work experience, or gearing up for your actual future career, getting these two documents right is a total game changer.
Applying for a job can be incredibly exciting, but let's be totally honest here. It can also be a little nerve-wracking, right? Especially if it's your very first time. Well, I want you to think of your job application as your absolutely crucial first impression. Before an employer ever meets you in person, before you even walk into the room, they learn about who you are through your paper self. A well-prepared application immediately proves to them that you're organized, you're motivated, and you are genuinely interested in the opportunity.
Now, to conquer this potentially overwhelming process, we're breaking it down into 4 logical steps. First, we'll establish a foundation by looking at the purpose of work. Second, building a strong resume. Third, writing your cover letter. And finally, the absolute secret weapon, tailoring for the win.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the purpose of work. Because before we get bogged down in all the document formatting, we really need to understand the why.
Seriously, why do people actually work? You might be thinking, well, to make money, obviously, and sure, but it's actually about much more than just earning cash. Work serves 4 key purposes in our lives. There's the personal purpose, which gives you independence, confidence, and new skills. The family purpose, providing essential financial support for things like housing, food, and education. The community purpose, which is all about improving the lives of others and just helping society function. And finally, the economic purpose, generating the wages and taxes that literally fund vital public services like our schools and hospitals.
Okay, let's dive into this with some real-world examples to see how these concepts play out. On one hand, you have a highly personal purpose. Ella gets a part-time job at Coles. She's earning money to save up for her very first car. But concurrently, she's learning some incredibly valuable customer service and teamwork skills. Now contrast that with emergency service workers during Australia's bushfire season. That is a pure community purpose, right? Protecting lives, protecting property, and supporting families in need. The takeaway here? Both are entirely valid reasons to work, and both build incredible transferable skills.
Okay, let's move on to section 2, building a strong resume. This is where we actually construct the factual blueprint of your professional identity.
Let's define exactly what we're talking about here. A resume, or a CV as it's sometimes called, is a document that summarizes your education, your skills, your experience, and your achievements. Its one and only job is to allow employers to quickly decide if you're suitable for an interview. And this is really important. For most school students, it should strictly be a 1-page document, no exceptions. It needs to be crisp, professional, accurate, and super easy to read.
So, how do we actually build it? Well, your resume is basically built on 8 key structural components. You start right at the top with your contact details, followed by a brief personal profile. Then you list your education, your skills, work experience, and crucially, your volunteer experience. You round the whole thing out with your achievements and finally your referees. Those are the people who can officially vouch for your excellent work ethic. It might look like a lot at first glance, but organizing your info into these specific buckets literally takes all the mystery out of the layout.
You can introduce yourself incredibly powerfully in just a few short sentences. Listen to this personal profile example for an applicant named Olivia Brown. Motivated Year 11 student seeking casual retail employment. Reliable, friendly, and eager to learn new skills. Strong communication and teamwork abilities developed through school leadership and volunteer experience. See what she did there? In 3 quick sentences, Olivia crafted a perfect mini-narrative. She states her current status, her core personality traits, and she backs up her skills by pointing directly to where she learned them. It's fantastic.
Moving down to your skills section, you actually need to highlight 2 entirely different types of abilities. On one hand, you have technical, or what we call hard skills. These are specific, teachable abilities, like using Microsoft Office or operating a cash register. On the other hand, you have employability, or soft skills. These are universal traits, things like customer service, teamwork, time management, and problem solving. And let me tell you, employers desperately want to see a mix of both on your resume. But wait, what if you're watching this and thinking, I've literally never had a paid job before? Don't panic. That is exactly where a volunteer experience becomes absolute gold. Take this example. Volunteer coach assistant at the local junior football club. This applicant helped organize training, supported younger players, and set up equipment. This proves initiative, it proves responsibility, and it proves reliability, even without a formal paid job history.
So please, do not underestimate the value of your volunteer work.
All right, time for Section 3, writing your cover letter. This is where we shift gears from a purely factual list to your personal narrative.
If your resume is the factual blueprint of what you've done, your cover letter is the document that introduces the actual human behind the bullet points. Unlike a resume, a cover letter tells your unique story. It's a one-page document that shows your enthusiasm, highlights your strengths, and explicitly explains why you are a fantastic fit for this specific role.
We all know that staring at a blank page can cause a whole lot of anxiety. Am I right? So let's break the cover letter down into 3 totally manageable steps. Step 1, the introduction. Simply state the job you're applying for, where you found it, and why you're interested. Step 2, the body paragraphs. This is the meat of the letter, where you connect your skills, experience, and personal qualities directly to the job requirements. And finally, Step 3, the closing paragraph. Finish positively, thank them for their time, and confidently state that you look forward to discussing the opportunity further.
Let's see how that body paragraph actually sounds in practice. Imagine writing this. Through my part-time volunteer work at my local sporting club, I have developed strong communication and teamwork skills. Do you see what they did there? They didn't just claim to be a good communicator out of nowhere. No, they directly linked a past experience to a highly desirable workplace skill. That, right there, is exactly how you prove your value on paper.
And that brings us to our final step, Section 4, tailoring for the win. Honestly, this is the ultimate secret weapon to unlocking a job interview.
Here is the absolute biggest mistake applicants make. I mean it, this is a deal breaker. Sending the exact same generic resume and cover letter to every single employer. Big yikes. Employers want to know why you want to work for them, specifically. If you fail to tailor your application, you're instantly turning employers off because it just shows a total lack of genuine interest and attention to detail.
And this brilliantly illustrates how you fix that. You must customize your message based on the specific job advertisement. For example, if you're writing a cover letter for a childcare center, well, your application must highlight your patience, your responsibility, and your ability to communicate with children. But if you're applying for a job at a hardware store like Bunnings, you completely shift your focus. You highlight teamwork, customer service, and a willingness to learn practical skills. It's the exact same applicant, but 2 completely tailored approaches. Makes sense?
Okay, before you hit send on that freshly customized application, let's quickly run through the common mistakes to avoid so you don't accidentally sabotage yourself. First, check for spelling mistakes. Seriously, use spell check. Make sure you aren't using some unprofessional email address from when you were 10. Keep it simple, just use your name. Never, ever skip the proofreading phase. Do not include unnecessary personal info. And please, avoid blindly copying generic templates without editing them to actually sound like you. To prove just how much this preparation matters, let's look at a quick scenario from our source material. Imagine we have 2 Year 10 students applying for the exact same casual retail position. They have identical school results, and neither has previous employment. Student A submits a generic resume with a few spelling errors. Student B submits a beautifully tailored resume and cover letter that specifically highlights their volunteer work, teamwork, and a genuine interest in customer service. Even with an identical lack of paid experience, the tailored applicant is far, far more likely to get the interview. Professionalism and effort win every single time.
Which leaves us with one final, empowering question. Are you ready to tell employers exactly who you are before you even walk through their door? Remember, your first job application doesn't need to be absolutely flawless, but it does need to be clear, honest, and tailored. Every single experience you've gained through school, sports, or volunteering is valuable and valued. So structure those experiences, tailor your story, and take that next step toward your future career with total confidence. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and good luck out there on your professional pathway.